Okay, Friday edition of the After Show. Got Wink and Justice with you. Wink over here on the East Coast.
And Justice on the west coast of the contiguous United States of America. It is Angle of Repose Friday. Oh, yeah. That's right. Now, surveys would say that is the coefficient of friction, and they would be correct. And it would also be correct in saying that that should be the angle in which you are reclining in your Barca lounger while reading Wallace Stegner's Angle of Repose. Yep. And with that stated, because, leave no shtick unturned. Huh?
Yep.
Huh? How are you doing?
Not bad. It is 79 degrees, going up to 82, 83, so it's going to be a nice summer day today. It's partly sunny, partly cloudy. Not bad. Good day for the beach if the water would recede some. So we had a beach, but the water level still is high here, so we're still kind of waiting for that to reduce, and so we can actually get on the beach without using waders. But mind you, get in the chat, just go to netrootsradio.com, scroll down the bottom of the page, and on the right-hand side of the bottom of the page, there is a link to the chat. So click that, join us there.
And it may seem, since we mention this at this time, every time we have a show, that we're trolling for money, and that would be correct.
Yeah.
Because that's how we pay the bills. We aren't able to do it without you, and we are certainly appreciative of that.
Oh, yeah.
So appreciative that you hear us every day.
Yeah.
I mean, that we're on. And then, Netroots Radio, that's what I'm talking about. But, the after show, too. Thank you. All kidding aside, we are very appreciative of your generosity. Well, here along the banks of the Rogue River in the Rogue River Valley of Southern Oregon, it is currently... It says 57.5 and feels like 57.3.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My garden thermometer and the mammalian syndrome on my face says that it's more like 64, and it feels like 65.
There you go.
And we're going to be nearly the same as we were yesterday. Apparently, we're only going to go to 96 today. Now, they say we only went to 97 yesterday, but, okay, that's a variance, because where I was at, it was 100 yesterday.
Right.
So I guess we're going to be around 100 today.
How about that?
Nights will be pleasant, though. They're going to be in the lowish to mid 60s.
Yeah, it's not bad.
63, 65,
Not bad at all.
Yeah, well, it's not too bad. As long as there's a little bit of a breeze going.
Yeah.
Then it's okay.
Yep.
I like that. Hey, Weather from Around the World is brought to you by People's Weather Stations from around the world. Yes. You know what? Maybe we should get a Netroots Radio weather station and plug it somewhere in America. Not necessarily where you and I are.
Right.
Maybe we can plug it somewhere, and
maybe we can have one of the listeners put it in their backyard.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of have that anyway because Weather Underground. Maybe America's not the one.
Yeah.
Russia, if you're listening.
Yeah.
If you're listening, put a Weather Underground weather station in your vast expansive landmass, and Netroots Radio Media will reward you mightily.
Yes. Yep.
I don't know why I just put on my Dieter German accent there. That was weird. Okay, well, in London right now it is 85 and clear. Paris is 85 and clear. Tour yesterday got really close to Paris. Now they're going like back almost to the Pyrenees. I think that's where they're going. I mean, they were within really a baguette's throw from Paris. They ended up in Troyes, and that's like a suburb almost of Paris. Crazy. Okay, so Rome is 90 and clear. Kiev is 70 and clear. Kabul is 88 and clear. Perfect drone weather. It is the wedding season and the weekend, Wink. Yes. Occasional bombers.
Yes.
Thunderclaps of bombers. Okay, moving on. Hong Kong is 78 and rain. Wow. So humid there. It's raining. Ew. Tokyo is 81 and clear. Sydney, Australia is 50 and clear. San Francisco is 58 and clear. And wink, New York is 69 degrees and heavy rain.
Yeah.
Heavy.
I mean, muggy.
In fact,
today.
it's so heavy they have a weather advisory.
Ah, okay.
And not just the regular exclamation point.
Right.
Yeah, like the real one. Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the water levels are so high. Now what are you saying? Water levels? You're talking about the actual coast beach?
Lake
There's
Ontario.
not enough beach there?
Lake Ontario is high.
Oh,
yeah, we have some beaches. I know it's hard to believe, but
no, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
There's still so much runoff coming in
Yep.
that they're not
there is,
releasing enough to give you a usable beach. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, so far.
Okay.
Another week or two, hopefully it'll recede.
Yeah.
Look at all.
Yeah, the particular river, the Rogue River, which hence Rogue River Valley, it is still ice cold, and it will be. I mean, a lot of people don't realize how that particular river is a killer. So people who come to visit Oregon, there's other rivers that are quite nice. The Alsea, Alcea, Alsea. It's in the coastal range, between the Willamette Valley and the Oregon coast.
Yep.
But the Alsea, now that's a pleasant, warm river. Because it doesn't have a glacier runoff, and it's far from where a glacier would be, and that's key as well. So, the Rogue River, it's still very high.
Yep.
And exceedingly cold. So,
yeah, it's weird. It's weird out there this year.
But there are people out there in drift boats going for steelhead. So,
there you go.
But I guess steelhead likes the cold. They must like the cold water.
Maybe they do. Yeah.
These are the issues that we will be attending to today. Now, of course, Trump was in Poland, and then he went to the G20. He was in Poland, then he goes to the G20, and we'll get into that. There's so much Wink, that we have to go over, and it's crazy. We have to decide what not to report. So, we are in Trump land, and so whatever we read as the news, it's usually has that overarching manifestation. All right.
Yep.
Well, an Ohio mom says the Oathkeeper gun militia had no qualms violating her rights when they demanded that her family paid $10 to walk from the movie theater. They just watched a movie and they're going to walk through, the main part of the mall and get to their car.
Yeah.
Oathkeeper said $10. You give us $10. Oh, did I mention that the dad is black? Oh, yeah. Ohio. Yes, that's right. And that's a mall near their home, of course. So, hey, Oath Keepers have a storefront. They paid for it. They can do what they want now, apparently. I don't know. I think maybe mall management will say, hey, you have to be a good neighbor.
Yeah.
All right. U.S. Republican Senator Jerry Moran of Kansas, or is that Moran? Of Kansas, is confronted by his daughter's pediatrician at a town hall on the Trump care bill.
Wow.
Ooh,
wow.
Fireworks apparently flew. And Trump broke a 25-year tradition while in Poland when he snubbed the Warsaw Ghetto Memorial. But, wink, he made up for it by calling the Jewish uprising one of the great evils beyond description endured by the Polish people.
Yeah.
Now, some people might think that was a Freudian slip and really reveals his anti-Semitic viewpoint. But I think that he's playing two-dimensional chess, and he's just playing to his base. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. For the last half, of course, on Angle of Repose Friday, the last half is the Friday News Dump and Recycling Center. News that has been repurposed with a purpose. That's right. What does that mean? I don't know. It's just fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
Here's something that's not fun, Wink. Half of the world's olive oil is threatened by a deadly bacteria. First they come after our coffee, and now our olive oil. What are they trying to do? Send us back to a Stone Age culinary experience? Come on! And there is an uncomfortable whiteness of being at America's most famous music festivals. Well, it's kind of obvious, but let's delve into that one. All that plus the Connect, Unite, Act Daily Codes community calendar and more on the after show with that ever so fine fellow over there on the ever so fine and elitist East Coast.
Oh, yeah.
And his name is Wink. And this guy all the way back over here on the equally, if not greater, elitist West Coast. Because that's the way we are. And my name is Justice, and we do this 5 days a week for an hour-ish in this particular specific and very peculiar tear in the fabric of space-time. Because who loves your baby? Oh, yeah. Apparently Trump met with Putin, brought him some deliverables. And apparently one of the deliverables was Podesta's pesto recipe. Trump forgot that, that Putin already had that. And so then Trump comes out and tweets, everybody's talking about Podesta's server. Now, he didn't give us, when he was running the DNC, he didn't give the FBI his server. Well, Podesta wasn't running the DNC. See, Trump is like mixing his conspiracy theories up. These are like two separate things. He's talking about Hillary's server, and then he's talking about Podesta's emails getting hacked, in which the great revelation was this Podesta pesto recipe, among others.
Indeed.
I like the pesto. I like the pesto one because you can't mess up pesto. Roasted pine nuts, some basil, a little bit of kosher or sea salt, olive oil. Process that baby up, and you're done. The hardest thing is not to make the basil turn black. Come on. So you throw a little bit of lemon juice in there. Yeah, just tiny. That was a great secret that the Russians got. They already had it. Rush gave it to him. Trump gave it to Putin, and Putin says, oh, thank you very much. We already got this. And then Trump says, everybody's talking about Podesta's. I don't know. And he couldn't find his limo. Well, all I can hope is that he has fake nuclear codes.
Right.
Would you would hope the bureaucracy is smart enough that if you did have, somebody sitting in the Oval Office that really isn't competent to be there, that you're not going to give them the real nuclear code so they can go into a half-hour meeting with our major adversary and give it to them. Would they? That's just me. I don't know. We better get into this. I could just go on and on and on. And I do. Okay. This is by Travis Geddes out of Raw Story. An Ohio family says they were harassed and ordered to pay $10 to walk through a mall near their home while a right-wing group hosted a prepper show nearby. Crazy. Preppers, Wink. Preppers.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. Business is way down now that Obama's not coming for their guns. It's tough. It's got to be tough. See, this is the problem. You have to really project where your market's going to come from and what's going to drive your market to come into your place. And, maybe you might fall out of vogue. So I don't know. Now I think they're just trying to gin up business. Obama's coming back to take your guns. That's why he's lying about Trump and the Russians, Wink. We better buy some camouflage.
Yeah.
All right. Amanda Sharp said she was visiting Woodland Mall on Sunday with her 4-year-old son and his father when men identifying themselves as Oath Keeper security guards stopped them. Now, in further investigation, I believe that the father is black. Because, I mean, white people are invisible, Wink. They see right through us.
Right.
Because we're not really a color.
Right.
We're nothing. I mean, like, I guess we're just nothing but the mere solar wind. Okay, regardless, the security guard said they had to radio ahead for approval for the family to walk from the movie theater to the main entrance and then stalk them when they objected to paying admission to a survivalist event. Oh, wow. Well, you know when brown shirts take over, Wink? They take over.
Oh, yeah.
When my child's father stated that we were leaving and did not require anyone's permission to do so, we were followed across the food court by security the entire time, and he was giving our descriptions over the radio. Now, you have to understand, these guys wear weird sort of, I say brown shirt, but it's really, they look like black shirts from Mussolini's crew, right? Yeah. And they always have like little like insignias on them, and some of them are darker camo, but you know, they have this kind of black shirt look to them.
Right.
But they also, like I said, they carry these badges of honor or whatever, you know, just weird stuff. Plus the heavy weaponry. And they have the attendant, you know, strapped on big old gutting knives, you know. Now that's a business that we should stay in, get into, Wink.
Oh, yeah.
Is gutting knives, you know. Because when you're out hunting, there's nothing better than having a gutting knife, especially if you're hunting humans in your fantasies.
Yep.
Your fantasies. So I'm just creating this image because here's a mom with her 4-year-old son and these like, I say burly, but you know, big beer-gutted, you know, leviathans. Right. With big old heavy machinery, human-killing machinery. Radioing ahead. The group, which opened a storefront at the Bowling Green Mall just in April, was hosting a show over the weekend showcasing survivalist preparations. You know, dried food. That's another one we got to get into. Like vacuum-sealed dried food.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yep.
You know, it used to be like camping, you know, hiking food, you know, when you're on trips. Now we can like zombie apocalypse.
Oh yeah,
along with an asteroid strike.
It's everyday food today, yeah.
And so when you have the zombie apocalypse and then the asteroid strike,
yep,
you're gonna then have the attendant black and brown people trying to take stuff from you that you work so hard to, you know, get like your bomb shelter and your dried food packets.
Oh yeah.
This was insulting, unnecessary, and was absolutely harassment, she said. Not only were these so-called Oath Keepers harassing us, they frightened my special needs son. This is completely unacceptable for an organized group of people who claim to want to defend against infringement of their rights. They certainly had no qualms violating mine, she said. The Oath Keepers are a gun rights group primarily made up of current and former law enforcement and military personnel who have vowed to disobey laws they believe are unconstitutional. Like your right to walk from the movie theater through the lobby of the mall to your car. You don't have that right. Well, maybe 3/5 of the right. We'll have to radio ahead, see if it's okay, now pay me $10.
Yeah.
The storefront, which is operated by the wife of the state Oath Keepers executive director, is not owned by the nonprofit organization, and it does not sell guns because another store already does and has a non-compete agreement at the mall. Damn. Pretty tough when you're trying to sell survivalist equipment and someone else has the gun franchise in the mall. Oh, man.
I hate that.
I got to tell you. You know, you got to do your research before you open up your business, you know?
Yep.
Do you have enough people in the condos above your storefront that will sustain your gun nut fantasies about everybody owning a gun? And then you find out that the guy right next door in the dry cleaning franchise has the gun concession. Jesus. Because he was a smarter businessman than you. Okay? And that's why they're Oath Keepers, Wink.
Exactly.
Well, because they come from an industry that has a maximum IQ allowed. And I'm not talking about, we're not even close to Mensa level here, all right?
Right.
Definitely Densa, but we're talking less than Densa. I'm just saying. You think I'm making it up? I mean, it's not surveys, but actual studies have shown. Okay. If this organization or business wants to hold events, fine, Sharp said. However, when doing so in an open public building, do not harass and stalk families who are there to enjoy family time. The Oath Keeper group has gained attention in 2015 when some members patrolled Ferguson, Missouri as protests raged over the police shooting death of Michael Brown, and some demonstrators felt targeted by the armed group. Well, yeah. With those little laser pointers that guys have scoped on their human killing machines.
Right.
Can't get much more targeted than that. Except for what comes after, and that's like high-speed projectile. Nice. Let's see. Nick Getzinger, executive director for Ohio Oath Keepers, said his group has no connection to the National Oath Keepers group and was not a militia. We only look like a militia. We're not really a militia. We're a well-oiled machine. Come on. Militia, that's kind of like, soldiers of fortune. We're not soldiers of fortune. We're out-and-out fascists working for the boss. Come on. Let's say what it really is, It is. You almost think that these guys have marching orders in a way, but they've been trained to be able to make these decisions out in the field, Wink. I mean, they're in a war, and we are the enemy.
Right.
They got to know when to bring in the tanks and when to take them and put them behind the hedgerows. Can't sometimes get a command up the chain to be able to do that. Okay. We are not an anti-government organization. We believe in a constitutional government. Yeah, the one that they have decided is the correct one. And I got to say, with their limited intellectual capacity as mandated by the jobs that they used to have. Not me. I don't think they should have that rule. I love this. We are a community response organization. I like that. It's like, I'm not a gang, I'm a study group. And we will work closely with local governments, law enforcement, and others in times of crisis, whether it's natural or man-made, and tell people how they're going to act. Because we have the guns, and they're big. Look at them. Times of crisis, you can count on us to be there to tell people how they're going to behave, right? Because, we know. The group hosted an expo last month at the mall that featured Chalice Finicum Finch, daughter of Lavoy Finicum, who was shot and killed by federal agents after fleeing a roadblock in 2016 following a stand-up at the Malheur National Wildlife Reserve. An FBI agent got convicted for lying and manipulating evidence and stuff. And it's odd that they would do that because it was, one of the state, patrol cops,
Right.
Their highway patrol.
Right.
That shot Finicum when Finicum pulled down on him. But this FBI agent, I don't know what the hell he was doing. I mean, it taints the case, is what it does. Because then it's used as fodder, like, oh, they're all against us and the world is flat.
Right.
Getzinger told him that a similar event last year was aimed only at fellow Oath Keepers, but he said that public curiosity had prompted him to increase the scale this year to promote the group and his views, because without Obama, we can't just automatically invoke his name and sell guns anymore. We got to open it up.
Indeed.
Last year was mostly trading, and this year we've incorporated the general public, he said, given the current economic situation and the potential for economic collapse or natural disasters. We're just here to help. Indeed he is.
Yep.
Okay. Portland GOP is hiring not just the Oath Keepers and the 3%ers, which is even in a more virulent form of the Oath Keepers, but out-and-out neo-Nazis as their security force because the liberals are going to kill everybody in their sleep.
Right.
I'm serious. That's the rhetoric that they put out there. We're the enemy. Wink, they hate us.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I say cupcakes over guns. Give them a cream-filled cupcake.
There you go.
What I would do. And then you could put their stupid coat of arms, piped on the top of it, and they'll be happy. Oh. Jerry Moran. It's always tough when your own pediatrician, says, hey, Jerry, remember me? Not only are you not paying me what I'm owed, but now you're trying to take more away. What the? My billing office has been trying to get a hold of you, Jerry.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's part of it, too. This is by Kara Lerner out of Think Progress. Last month, as the GOP was crafting its healthcare bill in secret, Senator Jerry Moran, a Republican of Kansas, faced angry constituents at a town hall when he said he would vote for an Obamacare replacement, even if there were no public hearings. On Thursday, he told constituents in his rural Kansas home county the same thing. Now, this was yesterday, of course, but Moran, one of just 3 Republican senators, holding a town hall this recess because liberals are out to kill you because they don't want to lose their Obamacare.
Right.
Some of those liberals are pretty damn right-wing, too. It's just how evil we are, Wink.
Yeah, well.
But he received a better reception this time because of his decision to come out against the Republican health care bill last week after the vote was delayed. Constituents thanked him for that decision and urged him not to support a plan that would take insurance away from Kansas residents. One constituent who spoke out was Bob Cox, Moran's daughter's pediatrician, who joked that he knew the senator's daughters before he met Jerry Moran. Which says something.
Yeah.
Because why would Jerry Moran not be present at the birth of his child? Now, in today's modern go-go society where fathers are, I don't know, part of the process? Was he too busy to help with his wife breathing? Preparing for this event? Which also says something. Why was Jerry not present during the process leading up to when the pediatrician would become their pediatrician? I don't understand. I thought we were talking family values from this party, Wink. It's just me. The federal government is charged with the protection of its citizens from external threat, Cox said. The U.S. military provides this service, and it is funded appropriately. We, as a culture, have not accepted the responsibility to protect citizens from internal threat, like disease and injury. Cox noted that taxes might increase to protect against internal threats of disease, but the benefits would outweigh the costs. In response, Moran focused on the problems with Obamacare, or the Affordable Care Act, as reasonable people often called it, saying that Congress needs to address the underlying causes of rising health care costs. Like corrupt corporations jacking up the price every time they can get away with it, and withholding services, because that's how the free market works, don't you know?
Exactly.
You know what, they're going to repeal it, and you know what they're replacing it with, Wink. Soylent Green death panels.
Yeah.
Somebody did note that if they were going to go after the right wing nut jobs and put them in the Soylent Green factory, that might not be a bad idea, and I would concur. But the way the Soylent Green factory works is that they would be the Soylent Red nut paste, and you can spread it on your toast, and it's pretty good.
There you go.
During before it's processed, though, in its raw state, very bitter. It's inedible.
Right.
Ew. Grind that baby down, and I don't know. Maybe the way they make it red is they pull in a little bit of seaweed. That's what makes it Soylent red. Make it into a nut paste.
Maybe a tablespoon of sugar, possibly.
Well, no, you have maybe a little bit of sugar, but I'm thinking more of like a cocoa.
Yeah, there you go.
Cuckoo nut, cuckoo nut. Yeah, a little sweet, a little bland, definitely white.
Right. Yeah.
He told his pediatrician he would support the ACA replacement on 4 conditions: if it's affordable and protects people with pre-existing conditions, if it protects rural health care, if Kansas isn't disadvantaged for not expanding Medicaid, and if the expense of the plan does not inhibit job creation. Well, I think on all those counts, especially in job creation, that it will increase jobs. Hasn't it already? And why would it lose jobs? By starving it so that you can, get it down to the size of, I don't think they're happy with the bathtub, Wake.
Right.
I think, they're perfectly happy with just doing it in the living room. Why even get to the bathroom to do it in the bathtub? Well, okay. Other constituents said they've heard it all before. Okay. Another voter pointed out that Moran was one of the first Republican senators to propose legislation to repeal Obamacare. It couldn't have been easy for you to say no last week, the voter noted. Okay, well, I don't know these people. Well, the pediatrician Baum said he appreciated his senator's willingness to hear from constituents, given that many... Oh, I'm sorry, that not Baum was another constituent here, not Cox is the pediatrician. Given that many GOP lawmakers will not, but noted that he expects more from his representatives. He's showing himself to want to have a well-reasoned positions on this topic, but is a pretty low bar to praise your congressman for having thoughtful positions on huge issues like this. It's also a low bar to praise your senator for coming back to the state to have meetings like this, when actually it's something to be expected. Yep. I love it. Representative democracy. I'll represent you, but I'll decide what I just okay. I don't know. Maybe they just want to have an employee-owned business week. We're their bosses, but they're going to be employee-owned. Oh my gosh, it's Friday.
Yeah.
This article is by Annabelle Thompson, also out of Think Progress. Earlier this year, Donald Trump was criticized for spending only 15 minutes in Israel's Holocaust memorial, but that's far more time than he gave to another memorial for the Third Reich's Jewish victims this week. Yesterday, a breaking news report from Haaretz revealed that Trump would not be stopping at the Warsaw Ghetto Heroes Memorial during his 2-day trip to Poland. Because he has to go to Bitburg, a secret little trip to Bitburg, wink.
Okay.
He's got some flowers to put on some graves there. Take some time. No press allowed. Audio either. Betcha he does. Betcha. Let's see. The memorial commemorates the heroes of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising from 1943. The 750 Jewish residents of the Warsaw Ghetto who took up arms to resist Nazi troops that had arrived to deport the entire population of the ghetto to concentration camps. Well, the reason he couldn't go there is because the Nazis arrived just to do a humane deportation. I mean, it's what he's modeled his humane deportation orders after all. Jewish community leaders in Poland have criticized Trump's decision not to visit the monument. A statement co-signed by the president of the Jewish community of Warsaw, the president of the Union of the Jewish Communities in Poland, and Poland's chief Rabbi Michael Schudrich released a statement on Thursday condemning the snub. We deeply regret that they used the P word, I don't. Donald Trump, though speaking in public barely a mile away from the monument, chose to break with that laudable tradition. We trust that this slight does not reflect the attitudes and feelings of the American people, said the statement, and I think that I'm well placed, as my, in my position as an American citizen, to say, no, it does not reflect our attitudes and feelings at all. And anybody who does harbor those sentiments, we'll take care of them. Yeah. Ivanka Trump, who is Jewish, she converted. Of course, the MO of a convert generally is they are much more virulent and fundamentalist. It's just stats prove that out. Isn't it weird? Well, she did visit the monument and later wreathed at his base with Schudrich. She called the experience deeply moving. Want to buy some shoes? I'm sorry, I added that part of the shoes in there. And but she did fail to mention her father's slight. Schudrich said that her visit was very, very important, but reiterated that her father's snub was sad. Meanwhile, instead of visiting the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising Monument, Trump gave a speech at the nearby Warsaw Uprising Monument, which commemorates Polish resistance fighters who rebelled against the Nazis in 1944, rather than the Jewish resistance fighters in the ghetto. Trump's decision to skip the Ghetto Uprising Monument reflects ongoing problems with anti-Semitism in his administration. The Trump administration has refused to condemn anti-Semitic hate crimes, engaged in Holocaust denial, and let a State Department office monitor anti-Semitism going around the world, and he let that one go unstaffed. We're post-anti-Semitism now anyway.
Yeah.
Harris, the paper, also noted in his report that Trump's speech seemed to embrace the Polish right-wing narrative, according to which the Poles were merely victims of the Nazis and did not play a proactive role in the slaughter of the Jews. Well, to make matters worse, he also mentioned the ghetto uprising alongside the ghetto itself in a list of evils beyond description endured by the Polish people. Yep, some might say it's a Freudian slip. He's just playing to his base. It's only political business.
Right.
Business. Don't take it personally. The Nazi doctors and stuff, like, the guy from Marathon Man that says, is it safe?
Yeah.
Is it safe? He was one of the Nazis that survived and
Zell.
had all of the, Zell, had all of the Nazi jewelry and baubles and witches. Right?
Yeah.
That he confiscated from people who are coming through the camps. Right?
Yep.
You can imagine somebody like that saying, don't take it personally. It's only business.
Exactly.
Well, all right. Let's get to our Jim Hightower break. We'll come back, go through the Connect, Unite, Act Daily Coast community calendar, and then finish up with olive oil bacteria and music festivals being a little too white on the eye. You're listening to the After Show on Networks Radio with Wink and Justice, and we will be right back.
I thought Donnie Trump and his fellow Republicans were big law and order politicians. So why are they trying to kill the sheriff and unleash thousands of robbers to run wild across America? The sheriff they want to kill is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The thieves they're out to help are corporate debt collectors who pay pennies on the dollar to buy huge databases of overdue bills, then hound the borrowers to pay up. They profit from weak regulations that let them bully, harass, rob, and run roughshod over tens of thousands of consumers every year, including people who've already paid off their debt or never even incurred it. Every year, the debt collection firms routinely abuse the law and overload our courts by rotely filing hundreds of thousands of lawsuits against debtors. Masses of these suits are backed only by flimsy, out-of-date, erroneous, forged, or non-existent evidence. Collectors don't care about the evidence, however, for their intent is not to win in court, but to frighten or bamboozle borrowers into paying. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau recently sided with the victims of this corporate thievery, proposing new rules to stop the abuse. The Trumpist Republicans have responded with outrage, not at the corporate outlaws, but at the sheriff. Their 2016 party platform advocates abolishing the Consumer Bureau, calling it a, quote, rogue agency for daring to stand up to the real rogues that are openly robbing workaday Americans. Why is the GOP so shamefully soft on crime? Because it's not just small-fry debt collectors involved in this outlandish shakedown of innocent borrowers, but such Wall Street powerhouses as J.P. Morgan Chase and Citibank, which are also generous political donors to Republican candidates. This is Jim Hightower saying, daylight robbery is a crime, or not. Depends on who's robbing whom.
Need an antidote to the progressive blues? Want some good news about how grassroots folks are rebelling against the corporate powers and winning? Well, here's an easy-to-swallow pill for you, the Hightower Lowdown. Hightower's monthly newsletter will give you the lowdown, even as it lifts you up. It's 4 pages a month, jam-packed with facts you can use, actions you can take, and Jim's own Texas humor, all for only $15 a year. To become a lowdowner, go to hightowerlowdown.org.
You are listening to netrootsradio.com.
Please hang up and try again.
From a point at sea to the circles of your mind, a new force is at work for planetary transformation. New radio for a new Earth.
Okay, we're back.
And indeed, we are back. Thank you for sticking with us. This is the After Show with Wink and Justice. Justice here along the banks of the Rogue River in the Rogue River Valley of Southern Oregon on the West Coast. Wink is in upstate New York, 21 on the East Coast. Excuse me. Our crew are the ethereal creatures who reside in the clouds, whose advanced intergalactic... God, my mouth is not working today, Wink. Whose intergalactic technical abilities allow Networks Radio, and thus by extension the After Show, to span the globe, the solar system, and beyond. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't push it if it's not clicking.
Right.
Don't click so much. All right. Today's Connect Unite Act Daily Codes Community Diary is facilitated by Smiley Creek, as it is every Friday, and it's very hot where they are in Paradise, California, near Chico. And they are routinely, this time of year have always had, low 90s at least, but they've been getting mid 90s to mid 100 century level weather. And it's only going to get hotter, so how are we going to cope? And she has some hints in how to survive climate change in the summer. And so I would go to the diary and look at them. There's a few, eating cold foods is always a fun one.
There you go.
I always like to do that, I like to wrap a nice cold towel type thing, like around my neck when I'm out in the yard. That's always fun. Cold water on the face. That'll cool you down. In fact, that's very important if you can do that. Get a little bit of, even that cold cloth on the face. That's where our mammalian nerve endings are. And cooling the face cools the brain, but also gives a sense that the body is being cooled as well. And so we humans, even if it's not actually happening, if we believe it is, then it's all good.
Yeah.
That's what makes us humans. We're able to fool ourselves. All right. Colorado community is having their Cossack meetup potluck at Colorado Tim's house on July 16th at 1 p.m. Their Colorado State Senator, who is the major sponsor of the Healthcare Colorado Initiative, and her name is Dr. Irene Aguilar, will be there. And also State Reps Susan Lontine and Denver City Councilman Mike Flynn will be in attendance. Cosmail, call Tim to get a RSVP for that event. Denver Cossacks will have their Caffeinating Liberally meetup on its usual fourth Saturday of the month, meeting, of course, at Common Grounds Coffee Shop at 44th and Vallejo. They're going to do that July 22nd from 9 to noonish. And they don't even need to say they're at the table by the piano.
Right.
Everybody knows that now.
Right.
Daily Co's Cheers and Cheers annual dinner Wednesday, August 9th at 5:30 p.m. at White Oak Kitchen and Cocktails, 270 Peachtree Street in Atlanta, Georgia. Cosmail Navajo to RSVP. Yeah, you better, because there's not going to be room for you. And let me tell you, third, fourth-rate karaoke in Atlanta, it might be a little too muggy this time of year for that.
Indeed.
Just saying. Yep. I don't know if you're at a third-rate karaoke bar and there's like kudzu choking off everything, you might be, wondering why the hell you're in Atlanta in August. Why?
Yeah.
But on August 10th, Thursday afternoon, the official beginning of Netroots Nation, the Daily Co's Caucus will conduct their Ask Me Anything About Daily Co's. Sounds suspiciously like Marcos is going to be fielding those questions. That will be at 2:30 p.m. in the Piedmont Room at the obvious hotel that or convention center that the Netroots Nation is being held in. Obviously. Piedmont Room. Daily Co's Asheville Summer Summit Meetup August 12th at Mount Mitchell State Park. August 12th, of course, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. The park is located at 2388 State Highway 128, Burnsville, North Carolina. Send Randall to Cosmail to attend that event, and that is your Connect United Daily Co's community calendar for the 7th day of the 7th month of the 17th year of the new century.
Yeah.
Wow. Time marches on. And when I say march, I'm talking goose-stepping marching.
Right.
Yep. It does go in cycles, We got to go through this sort of cycle, and then, I don't know. Watering the tree of liberty, all that, hoo-ha. Just what the commies wanted, wink.
Right.
All right, olive oil is threatened. I wonder why. Could it be climate change? Why would this bacteria suddenly appear?
Yeah.
You never know. Since most of the world's olive oil comes from Spain, And the climate has changed so drastically there that they're having like massive spontaneous forest fires going up in fire.
Right.
I mean, a lightning strike is all it takes, and everything is just so tinder dry. Forests that haven't burned, they haven't had these kinds of burns in, quite a while. Because actually, that's not part of their ecosystem burning, where it is part of many areas in the landscape of America. Weird, huh? This is by Jessica Wapner out of Newsweek. Spanish officials have confirmed the arrival of Xylella fastidiosa, a pathogen deadly to olive trees on the country's mainland. About half of the world's olive oil comes from Spain's estimated 340 million olive trees, and experts fear the bacteria could devastate the harvest. Up to 1 million olive trees in Italy were killed by the infection last year, leading Italian officials to chainsaw trees to the ground in an effort to stop the sickness. The pathogen was found among almond trees in the eastern region of Valencia, according to Elena Cebrian, head of the agriculture department there. Out of the sample of 17 almond trees, 12 were infected with the bacteria. Wow. The trees did not appear sick, but their almond production had decreased. Olive trees in the immediate area have not tested positive for the bacteria so far, but all trees and plants within a 300-foot radius of the infected almond trees are being killed per containment measures enforced by the EU. Those dictators. How dare they try to save us?
Yeah.
Officials are also treating the area against insects that may carry the pathogen. The country also has banned plant imports from Spain's Balearic Islands as another precaution. Last year, the pathogen subtypes were found on cherry trees in Mallorca, which is the largest of those islands. Currently, there is no cure for the disease caused by the bacteria. Okay, the newspaper El Mundo has called the pathogen the Ebola of olive trees and is feared by olive growers. The EU considers it one of the most dangerous plant bacteria worldwide, with a huge potential to decimate crops and hurt agriculture. The pathogen was first reported in Europe in 2013 when it was found in the olive groves of the Apulia in Italy. France reported an outbreak in Corsica in 2015, and later on the mainland among myrtle leaf milkwort. Uh-oh. That is a butterfly pollinating plant that is needed for butterfly stuff. Scathing report released in June by the European Commission blames Italian authorities for allowing the outbreak to proceed unchecked. Researchers believe Xylella reached Italy from its native ecology in the Americas. Why, thank you very much. We're just exporting our influence around the world, Wink. Come on. Of course, they say Americas. Could be, like the southern regions.
Yeah.
A recent thorough review in Nature documents the challenges that followed after the bacteria were identified as the cause of the olive quick decline syndrome striking Puglia trees. Local environmentalists were furious about ancient olive trees being cut down to stop its spread, leading one prosecutor to launch a criminal investigation asserting that the researchers had themselves caused the infection. Ooh. We love the look of those trees. And you know what? I hate seeing trees cut down, Wink. I do. But sometimes disease ones are going to kill them all. And we just have to face the facts.
Yep.
Okay, so the bacteria lives in the xylem tissue, which moves water through a plant. Spittle bugs, cicadas, and sharpshooters that feed on the xylem, that's the xylem tissue, are known transmitters of the pathogen. One such insect, a spittle bug known as the meadow froghopper, or Philenius spermarius, feeds frequently on olive trees, and is the bug responsible for the Apulia outbreak. The pathogen can infect an estimated 300 plant types worldwide. Infected trees have leaves that dry out and soon appear scorched. The bacteria moves throughout the xylem, preventing water and nutrients from reaching the leaves and other structures. The infection carries a high risk of death to the plant or tree. In the U.S., Fastidiosa has attacked blueberry, pecan, almond, and other trees in the South and in California. Interesting. Yeah. Well, damn. Don't take my olive oil. I guess I'll have to go get some Greek olive oil. That's what I usually use anyway.
There you go.
I don't know. Am I spending more? Maybe. I mean, Spanish is just fine, but they're it's good for cooking. I think you want a little bit more refined. That's why the Italian is, sometimes the best for, making for your salads and, pouring on your plate with a little bit of salt, a little bit of garlic, bread,
You're
Italian,
much in, yeah.
and Greek. The Turks make a pretty good olive oil, by the way, so I'm curious if it would be prevalent there. Okay, some of America's biggest music festivals bill themselves as oases of equality. But a closer look reveals an awkward and at times uncomfortable picture. The gist of the article here by Jamiel Khawaja out of The Guardian, because you can't get this news here. You got to go overseas for it, Wayne.
Right.
Of course, there is a belief in academe, like in anthropology, for instance, that our cultures are so sublimated in our experience that we can't really notice things. That really takes an outside eye,
right,
who hasn't been acculturated or inculcated in that culture to be able to see, well, the differences, the anomalies. And then, of course, you run the risk of what's known as ethnocentrism, which means that you're judging other cultures by your own. And, of course, you're putting yours as the superior culture unless you measure others by. So it's a little bit of a dance to be able to play this game. But I only bring it up is because sometimes it's hard for us to look at ourselves and point a finger, and we might need to have an outside entity do that for us so that we can, wake up.
There you go. Yep.
Well, what is it that the kids say? Woke.
Yeah, woke. Yep.
Well, her thrust of the article is that, they've been moving into getting more acts on the stage, yet the back end of the business is highly weighted in white management, white production. And I got to tell you that there's a money issue involved, and the music industry is very corrupt. In fact, some people might even say that there's a lot of mob influence in it. And you know what? They would be right.
Yep.
I don't know if it's a dirty little secret. I think that many people consider it to be a dirty little fact.
Right.
That's wide out in the open. People just don't really talk about it. It's not a secret, right? When people know about it.
Right.
What's it called when people don't talk about it? I don't know. Maybe they know where their bread is buttered. No one wants to speak up. There's always that part about it.
Yep.
And because money is involved, you can always put on the image that you are projecting equality. Because look, you have these hip hop acts, and then you look out in the audience, and it's a sea of white people. And some of the hip hop acts are, throwing the N-word around. Or what is the appropriateness of that being thrust onto a white audience that's going to repeat it back? It just is not right. You have to take a little bit of responsibility. And when the money motive is involved, and it gets to be on the corruptible level that we know the music business at that level to be, it may not be good for the culture as a whole. Yes. So that was that little rant. The article is quite comprehensive, and I would suggest go ahead and read it at the links provided at the show notes, and I put them up at dailycoast.com/blog/Justice Putnam. That's right. All right, we're at the end of our broadcast period for today and the after show broadcast for the week. But we got some great live content coming up, of course, over the weekend, starting with Netroots Radio's own produced Roundtable Roundhouse Power Hour with Wink and Rowing Girl. Jibber Your Jabber. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Saturday, 9 p.m. on the West Coast, midnight on the East Coast. 1 hour opportunity for live call-in radio. And then again on Sunday with Wink's Jibber Your Jabber. And that is at 9 p.m. West, midnight East Coast. A 2-hour opportunity to, you can take him to task or you can agree with him or
whatever.
But call in.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be about politics.
Right.
But then again, what is not? Even art. Hey, we're going to have some great content continuous throughout the weekend, of course, and throughout the rest of the day. We'll play, let's see, I guess we got a little bit of time for Sergio Mendes and Brazil 66 in Mas Que Nada, a little bit of classic.
Yep.
And then follow up with Lila Downs' Mi Corazón Me Recuerda. And you'll get just a bit of that before Hartman comes up about 6 minutes after the hour. You're listening to the After Show on Netroots Radio. And Wink, I'll just see you on the other side.
All right. We're out.